Ladies and gentlemen, you know the vibe. We're back. Friday, July 31st. So good to see all of your smiling faces coming to you guys live from the DCF studio here on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! Thank you so much for joining us. Already 100 plus people in the chat. So good to see all of your smiling faces again. Guys, we got something new going on this week. We started a Discord and it is a lot of fun. I don't know how many members we have in there right now. I think we're already close to 300 and we've had it for 3 days, which is so cool. Look at you guys throwing that up in the chat. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. That is funny to see. That is for real. I appreciate that. Like, you guys know I do. I really appreciate that I'm even here to be able to do this, that people tune in to chat about custom shoes, this crazy thing that we all love to do. So it's so cool to see. And for you guys to constantly tune in week after week, you absolutely gotta love it. You gotta love it. So yeah, the Discord, super awesome. I had not a lot of idea to expect. For those of you that don't know, I'm getting close to 30, turned 28 this year. So I think Discord is typically, Jason presented the idea, and don't quote me, but I think it could be a little bit more geared towards, maybe it started with the gaming community, or it's very popular with the gaming community. And Jason has a little bit of his a finger on the pulse of that, so he thought it would be a good idea for us. And over here on the YouTube Q&As, you guys have mentioned some things in the past. Hey, you know, where could we have kind of a community chat, whether it be a Facebook group, a subreddit, a Discord, and ultimately we landed on Discord being the best one. And it's a great time. So it's split up into a few separate categories. So depending on what you want to talk about, you can kind of talk about in that category. Some of the ones we have are first timer section, so you can post without worry. Hey, here's the first time I painted a pair of shoes, and here's what they look like. Can you give me some feedback? We also have a section for, as you guys know, every time we do one of these, I talk about photography and things like that. So we have a section where you can do a rate my photos, and hopefully that becomes kind of an area where people are like, hey, which of these photos do you think would be better for me to post? And it's really cool. I get a lot of these daily from you guys just in Instagram DMs. Hey, which of these pictures do you like better? Which one do you think would do better analytically and whatnot, and some more engagement? So that's really cool. A rate my custom section where you can just get some feedback on you know, your customs that you're working on and stuff. A main chat where you can sort of talk about it. We got a lot of cool sections in there. So if you guys don't mind, CW, yeah, if you don't mind, buddy, I have it in the description also for anybody watching this later. Some of my mods, make sure, if you guys don't mind, drop the link to the Discord here in the chat, and that'd be super cool because we'd love to have you guys come on over there and join. Today is the final day of the DCF floral contest, and this is our biggest one yet. I think in the horror contest, which was in October, and then the Christmas contest, obviously in December, I think we had a close to similar number of submissions, probably close to 70 submissions for both of those competitions. It looks like we have a lot more for the floral contest. And boy, oh boy, some of the pictures that were posted over the last 2 days. Wow. It is not going to be easy to pick a final four. I am glad that the way we've sort of the idea for these contests came about, that we would pick the final four and then you guys will vote on the winner. The public gets to vote on the winner. And in the past, the only thing that I wish I would have done differently is come up with a way to only allow you to vote once. But not only in sales, just on the internet, there's something we talk about called friction. And the more friction there is, the less likely you are to get the sale or to get the conversion or anything like that. So I wanted as little friction as possible for you to be able to vote on the winner of both of our previous contests. So you were allowed to vote multiple times. And I don't think the wrong person didn't win either time. The winners of the horror contest and the Christmas contest absolutely deserved to win. But could it have been a little different if you were only allowed to vote one time? Maybe. Anything's possible. But this time around, I'm going to make sure that we have some different protocol for the voting so that I consider it a little more fair because I would like it to be a little more that way. But, you know, my first time, hey, I'm learning. So the first times around, I just said it's okay if you vote multiple times. That's cool anyway. You just sort of hope that nobody abuses it and sits there for an hour and just refreshes and votes and refreshes and votes. But that might have happened. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get that worked around this time. So wow, 150 plus people here in the chat. Absolutely incredible. So good to see all of you guys. We already had 3 super chats come in. Let me just say thank you to some of these people. Lizband, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Just supporting the channel. Let's see here. Pitbull Custom Shoes, thanks for the compliment on the Wu-Tang bands I'm doing. Means a lot coming from you, buddy. Yeah, you sent me some pictures of those on Instagram DM earlier. And I had said those were your best work yet because, man, I was really impressed with specifically the font that you selected for the graffiti text on the toe box. Looked really good. Yep. Let's see here. And then another super chat from Johnny's Life says, just ordered my airbrush and compressor and booth thanks to you. Wow. Any tips on starting off airbrushing? Hashtag toothpick gang. Very cool. So you're going to be ready to go. You got the booth, the compressor, the airbrush. Just starting off with airbrushing, I would say don't go into shoes right away. Practice on, you know, maybe you have some spare canvases around or just paper or paper towels. Just get a feel for airbrushing. When you start airbrushing, some of the most common things that you learn to do first is line work. So you learn dagger strokes and other strokes when it comes to airbrushing. So just get a feel for it. Get a feel for what happens, you know, how much pressure you need to apply for a certain amount of paint to come out and things like that. Very simple basics. I've told this story here before on the YouTube Live Q&As, but when I was in 6th grade, so how old are you in 6th grade? Maybe 11 years old. Does that sound right? That sounds close to right. I signed up for some airbrushing classes and I did those. I did maybe 10 lessons and I just learned really basic things and I never really followed up with it until I started customizing shoes again. So from the age of 11 to, I don't know, 20, I never picked up the airbrush again. But interestingly enough, I had held an airbrush before I decided to try and do them on shoes, and I had taken some very basic lessons because I've always thought the art of airbrushing was very cool. And how cool was it to see, what was it, 2 weeks back now, that video with Jabo Airbrush, just one of the most insane airbrushers on the face of the earth. I mean, just insane with his detail. So absolutely insane how good some people are with just an airbrush. I don't really consider myself much of an airbrush artist per se. It's just sort of another tool that I have in the toolbox. You know what I mean? So let's see. D-Mill says floral contest due by midnight, correct? Yeah, midnight Central Standard Time. So that is about 7 hours from now. 7 hours and 9-ish minutes or so. So yeah. Alapanair says, how should I clean my brushes when I paint and wash it off? The color of the brush stays a little bit of that color. So what I do is, I'm not the person for paintbrush maintenance because I don't have great paintbrush maintenance. But what I do is I just have a spaghetti jar. You can use a cup of whatever. And what I actually have at the bottom, you're not going to be able to see, but I have a sponge at the bottom, okay? Now a sponge has 2 sides. It has the green side and the yellow side. The green side's obviously closer to, you know, a rougher material, and then the yellow side is more typically what you think of for a sponge. So I have the sponge side facing up, the yellow softer side facing up. I put the paintbrush in there and I rub it up against the sponge. Now this gets a lot of the color off, and then I just have some towels nearby and I'll wipe off the excess paint onto the towel. And if you want to have good brush maintenance, you don't leave them in a cup of water or anything like this. But yeah, you should dry them. You want to dry brushes horizontally, and yeah, so dry them on a rag nearby. And this trick actually works good for me. I've actually only been doing this for about the past year or so, having the sponge inside of the cup. But I actually really like it. Before I always just had a water cup and would, you know, put the brush tip at the bottom and rub it off in the water and at the bottom surface. But I actually do think that this works better hitting it up against that sponge surface. So yeah, let me tell you guys, because the thumbnail mentioned some free paint. So you guys have asked me quite a few times in the past, what are my favorite colors? What color should I start out with? Hey, I want to buy the Angelus starter kit. what should I buy? So what I have here is the DCF 12 color starter kit. These are the 12 colors I think you need to start. I would like 3 more colors. I did have to eliminate some that I do think you almost need. One of them's a primary color. You guys are going to think I'm crazy for not having it, but hey, none of us like painting with yellow. So spoiler alert, there's no yellow in here. But that's okay. Not every design has yellow. You can find a workaround. So of course, we have our basics of black and white. Not sure how in focus these are going to become. We got our black and white. Then we have red and violet. I like violet more than I like purple. I have to get out of the frame for it to autofocus. So yeah, red and violet. Then I have beige and, yeah, I'm not even going to try making it autofocus every time. Beige and gift box blue. Then I have salmon. Here in Chicago, a lot of people say salmon. And mint. So salmon and mint. And then we have sapphire and tangerine. So I've said this before, but for the primary colors, typically, you know, you have your red, yellow, blue, and then you would next have your purple, green, and orange. I actually like some of the nearby colors as far as we're just talking about all of Angelus's selection. So rather than orange, I actually like tangerine. Rather than blue, I actually like sapphire. Rather than purple, I like violet. The one that I do like of the primary colors is red. Red is my favorite red that Angelus makes. And same with green. I don't like any of the other greens more than I do green. So then we also have green and chocolate. There's like six or 7 different browns from Angelus. Chocolate is my favorite. So there's a 12 color starter kit. And I'm going to hook one of you guys up with that. And let me see. So last week I gave away that rolling cart. We'll do something similar. I'll announce some details on how you can win this a little bit later, but it'll be something similar. We'll post something on your stories, you know, a hashtag and something like that. Probably maybe what you're working on, or maybe, yeah, because last week we did your workspace. So yeah, you know what? Post what you're working on right now in your workspace. Tag me at DeJesus Custom Footwear and use the hashtag Toothpick Gang. And that's how you can win that. And I will select a winner over the weekend. And Moss Customs, if you're here, shout out to you. I just got the rolling cart mailed out to you. So Moss Customs, if you're here, congratulations on that one. So let's see. Let me hop in here. See what you guys are saying. Brush cleaner. Let's see. What do you think? Sneakers and how they wear their temporary sneaker tattoos? Ooh, what is this? Johnny Yimon says, what do you think of sneakals and how they work on sneakers, the temporary sneaker tattoos? I have not seen this yet. Is this on Instagram? Should I look this up right now? Let me know where I can look this up on the internet real quick, because I haven't seen this yet. Interesting. I have not seen that. Spook Custom says, is too thin any different to normal thinners? Yes, it's very different than paint thinner, for sure. You would not want to substitute paint thinner. Let me see. We had a couple super chats come in. First from Scrimmix says, love your channel. Just ordered everything I needed as you motivate me to begin. Just a quick question. Did you ever customize lightly used shoes and sell them? Just wondering your thoughts. I have done that before. I have actually taken some of shoes from my personal collection that I've worn and said, let me go ahead and customize these. And then I've sold them, but I've mentioned that, hey, these are a worn pair of shoes that are customized. So they're in whatever they were in, 9 or 8 out of 10 condition. And then they were customized, you know what I mean? But they were previously worn. So as long as you don't hide that fact, then that's totally okay. So yeah. Yep. And then we have another super chat here from GNT Customs. Thank you for all the tips and tricks. Truly inspiring. If you have time, can you give feedback on our Instagram, please? At Get Customs. Yes, I will check that out shortly. We're going to check out at Get Customs. So yes. Cool. Ton of you guys in here today. This is awesome. This is awesome. Good to see you guys. let's try to get the number of likes on this video up to 100. Come on, everybody, drop a thumbs up on the video. Let's go ahead and do that one. Shout out to the Toothpick Gang. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Anthony Marina says, I'm about to work on a pair of Jordan 10s. Do you think that would be a good starting project? Jordan 10s are a good base. You got some cool stuff that you can work with. I just did a pair of Jordan 10 cleats. Every year, the football cleat that Jordan is releasing changes, and this year, it's going to be the Jordan 10. So I'm excited to work on a bunch of Jordan 10 customs this year. I haven't done that many Jordan 10s in the past. Probably under 25 pairs of those. So yeah, I'm excited to do a lot of the Jordan 10 cleats this year. Last year was awesome because we had the Jordan 1 highs and lows as the cleat for the Nike football collection. So it's cool that they switch it up every year and we get to work on something new. So yeah, these past couple weeks have been incredibly busy. Just gearing up towards hopefully we have a football season. Who knows? I mean, woo-wee. I do not know if we're going to have a football season with everything going on with the MLB. I don't know if you can do this sports thing in America without a bubble. It looks like, knock on wood, somewhere nearby, the NBA is going good. But that's because they're in a bubble. And I know the MLB, the Players Association, they weren't having that. And so they're playing in their home stadiums. And it's funny that Canada, the one Canada team we have, they said, no. You guys can go find somewhere else to play. So the Blue Jays were looking for a home stadium to play all year. I think they're either playing in Buffalo or Baltimore or something like that. So, yeah. Oh, boy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But, yeah, hopefully we get a football season. Let me see here. My mod Dano says, Dylan, we need to do a video where we paint one shoe with Angelus and one with Posca pens and then test them for durability. Absolutely. I've just been waiting for, yeah, absolutely. That is a video that I absolutely want to do very soon. I think you'll see that one before, definitely within the next couple of months. I'll have a Posca pen durability video just showing what happens when you use those. Let's see. Another super chat here from Ron Custom says, other than YouTube and customizing, what else do you invest your time and money into? So, I mean, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who does this, who over the last 2 years, it's become so much more to me than just painting shoes, because for so many years, it was quite simply just painting shoes. Now there's so many other elements, from working with YouTube's almost like a second job with how much effort and energy we put into it, pumping out one video that we put a ton of time into every week, because I mean, not every single video has the same format, but if you look at our main catalog of videos here on YouTube, you can assume I'm painting a pair of shoes, and that's going to take anywhere from 8 to, just on average, 10 to 15 hours for me to paint a pair of shoes. And then that becomes longer for the filming. And then there's the editing of all of the footage. And then there's the filming of additional footage for the video. And then there's producing content for Instagram. And then there's producing the content for Instagram stories to promote it. And now we're moving into these other things, like we're having a newsletter. Let's talk about that real quick. We started a newsletter. The first one is going to be coming out next week. I have that linked in the description also. It is the third link. Yes, newsletter sign up. It just takes you to our site, DeJesusinc.com. You'll be able to sign up for our newsletter. We're going to have tips and tricks, some giveaways in there, some exclusive content, some stencil stuff, a lot of cool stuff in there. And that's just going to be another great way to see what's going on with us. So really excited about that one also. Outside of that, the very little time that I do have is spent with family. I have a son, Dexter, that you guys have seen a bunch on here. He is now, how many days away? Yeah, so in August 9th will be his 1.5 birthday, so 18 months. So we're, what, 10 days, 9 days away from that or something? So he's a handful, that's for sure. And then I have a wife, Brittany, that you guys have seen quite a few times on the channel also. So anytime I'm not doing this, it's spent with them, the very little time that I do have. What else do I invest my money into? Real estate. I have a house. I, over the past 2 years or so, have started to dabble in a little bit of stock stuff, setting up stuff for retirement as you guys know, as entrepreneurs, we don't have a company to set up a 401k for us and all that stuff. And you kind of got to do all that yourself. You know what I mean? So learning about all that, getting that set up and investing into that. And I mean, yeah, just a lot of the money is reinvested into the business to do new things with the business and stuff. So yeah, great question though, Ron, because that might be something that might make for a good video in the future. Just sort of how to sort of run your business as a customizer. Where else should you be pouring your money? You know what I mean? Because as entrepreneurs, which I think more and more people are going to become in this digital age, you're not working at a traditional company where on day one they're talking to you about setting up your 401k and all that type of stuff. You got to do that yourself. And of course, as you always hear with retirement stuff, it's so much better to start early. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So that might make for a good one. Another super chat here from Johnny's Life. Could you give a tour of your setup? Let's see. So I would lose the mic. You guys wouldn't be able to hear me, which would be weird. But I could do a 360 with the camera. I can with the iPhone. I can do that. Let's see. Should be able to do that. Let's clean the lens real quick. And then I have to check out a Instagram. All right, let's see here. Yep. All right, cool. So here's the camera. Here's me looking at you. That's you and your smiling face. You guys look good. That's what I see. That's me looking at, that's Inception right here. So that's Dylan looking at Dylan, who's looking at Dylan now. All right. Then we have the main editing computer over there. That's where we do all of the editing. That is where I have the stream set up. Here we have the vinyl cutters over here. Kong asked me last week if I ever do any paintings. That is a painting I did of, it's the Chicago skyline. It has that is the loop. So Chicago has, 7 train lines. That's a map of the loop. Then I have the Chicago 4 stars, and then there's text in the background of some Chicago monuments. So it says Chicago. I have all of the sports team logos hidden in there. So this is just like a cool Chicago painting. And there we have the YouTube plaque. Shout out to you guys. Another computer. And here's kind of where I do my working, in this corner here. So we have the Airbrush booth that's connected to the dryer vent to run outside. Flip around because I have an L-shaped desk. And so that's where I work. And here we have the paint shelf, which has the 4 ounces, some pints at the bottom, the quarts at top. I don't have any of the gallons in there because they don't fit. This was an IKEA shelf, but I built, you see these second and third rows? I built some wood shelves and then painted them the same blue as the shelf. So those aren't actually there. There's only sort of this shelf that you see the quartz are on, but then I built these secondary shelves to have more rows so then I could stack more of the 4 ounce paints there, which is kind of cool. And why do we switch modes? Here's some cubicles of some current stuff right now. There's the Chunky Donkeys. Got to show some wear test on them soon. Other random stuff. Closets, which have a lot of more storage. Pool table. Over there is sort of the display area that you see in a lot of the videos. And then we have another storage room over there. So yeah, that's kind of the studio space. Probably, I don't know, maybe 750-ish 650 to 750-ish square feet down here. That's what we are sort of looking at. So yeah, I've been, some people have asked, I've been wanting to do another, a studio tour down here. And that is one that I've said we were going to do for a long time. So yes, Hey DeJesus, can you check these guys from Bosnia on Insta? I can't really say the name, so Snikerana Lab? Yes, I will check those out. Let's see what else you guys are talking about here. Should I advertise on YouTube? Lisban, who sent in a super chat earlier, says, I'm a nail pro starting up with customizing. I work with a lot of different brushes with different materials. I want to share this advice on how to keep brushes lasting long. So let's see. Let me see if I see you followed up with that, Lisban, because yes, I would love to know some of your advice for everybody to know to keep their brushes lasting nice and long. So let's see if I see that follow-up. It says, and just like this, leave the brush in a horizontal position in a place with no sunlight or strong lamps, like on a shelf. When you need to use your brush again, just clean the gel from the brush with. Okay, so the message looks like it probably got broken up into a couple different sections. So it sounds like there's some gel that you should use for the brushes. Another super chat here from LR Customs, my Instagram, LR Custom FW. I'm new to customizing. Okay, cool. So we need to check out some Instagrams. Let me get to the bottom here, see what you guys are talking about, and we will get to that. I'm gonna choose Okay, down to the bottom here. We are good. All right, I have to check out some Instagrams. Let's do that. Let me scroll up, find those messages. See the first one. Let me see. Okay, our first one is Get Customs. Let me pull that up. Okay, I have the message here from Listband. So it says, let me read this to you guys before we hop in there. Buy some UV gel, like in doing nails, UV gel, and a cleanser for gel. When you're done with your brush, just dip it in gel and keep a bit of gel on it when taking out. And just like this, leave the brush in a horizontal position in a place with no sunlight or strong lamps, like in a shelf. When you need to use your brush again, just clean the gel from the brush with the cleanser and you're ready to paint with it again. I'm using the same brushes for years and they're still on fleek. Very cool. Thank you for that, Lizban. So yeah, anybody wondering about keeping your brushes nice and tight and being able to use them for years, sounds like some gels work good for that. Okay, so Get Customs. Cool, cool, cool. Found it already. All right, so G&T Customs, artists Gina C. and T. Jones, custom shoes and more, DM for details. So maybe could build out that bio a little bit more, but let's go ahead and hop into here because some of this stuff looks pretty cool. Look at that print. Man, look at that. That looks good. That is the Burberry print. And that's not an easy one to do, and this is done properly because I know I've done a Burberry print in the past, and sometimes you might see it as solid lines, but it's actually a bunch of diagonal lines that are just really close together, but they sort of look solid some of the time. So to see that done here, very cool. Very cool to actually see that you went in and did all of the individual line work, and that is a dope colorway. Looks like we have a bunch of backpacks here done for maybe a boys football team or something like that. Maybe a football team, soccer team. That's dope. That's cool. They got their names, their team logo. We got a Kobe pair of Air Force Highs. I like this. Kobe done with a unique style. That's dope. Some Kobe silhouettes here, along with this yellow and purple sort of brushstroke pattern in the background. That's dope. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of those. Some Wildcat Cortezes. These are clean. Some Mexico Cortezes. Those are clean. I like the editing of the photos and stuff. The clean edits to match the background. This is a cool pair. Yeah, these are cool. What's this logo? I'm not familiar with this logo. I don't know if this is an artist logo or something like that. But yeah, I dig these. Let's drop a double tap while we're here. Dig these. Looks like these are a fraternity pair of Jordan 1s with the purple and gold. That's clean. This is really. Oh, check out these Wu-Tang ones. This is like extremely clean work. I'm a fan. You guys do really, 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 really clean stuff. This is a great design here where we have the two different patterns on the Vans, and then the Arizona State. The colors are you know, the yellow and the maroon, and so then having the piping on one being yellow with the main portion the maroon, vice versa on the other. That's just dope. This is just clean work. Really good stuff. Really good. Oh, I like these. Look at this. This camel print is cool with all of this shading and whatnot. Yeah, big fan of these. Wow. This might be my favorite one. And look at this. Look at the, oh yeah, look at the design on the toe box. Hello. This is genius. Using the contours of the shoe to your advantage. So you see all of this weird line work that we have on this cleat. Some cleats have some very unique setups, and this is really taking advantage, having this gradient within all of that line work, and just something you'll hear me say all the time, using the contours and natural shape of the shoe to your advantage. Looks like we got a whole team here. Wow, you guys do a lot of good work. Very impressed. Very impressed. Yeah, I like these. Look at that, the clean text on the toe box there with the gradient. Hello. Wow, this is a great page, you guys. Go give them a follow for sure. Big fan of Get Customs. Yeah, look at this. And this is a really, really hard gradient to do, being complementary colors, orange and blue. Anytime you're working with a Broncos theme, a Bears theme, you end up with it's really hard to avoid sort of these ugly browns that you get in the middle. But this is cool. This is cool. It's just really hard to work with these colors next to each other sometimes. But this is still a really cool pair. Little double tap action there for that one. Wow, you guys do a lot of work. I'm really, really impressed here. Clean stuff. And yeah, the photography's solid. I mean, it's so simple. I haven't felt the need to say, hey, the photography needs improvement because I can't even enjoy the artwork. No, like very simple photography, having out up against the concrete, like it's simple and it totally gets the job done. Concrete's gonna fit almost any theme. So yeah, cool stuff here. Great page, Get Customs. You guys do a lot of good work. Like these. Yeah, I would say get active on the highlights. Maybe have some of your highlights for, I don't know, some of the bigger team projects you've done and stuff. But just use all of Instagram's, you know, all of Instagram's capabilities to your full advantage. So yeah, good stuff. And switching up the various forms of content, doing some time-lapse stuff. Yeah, I see some video stuff. Very cool. Great page, Get Customs. You guys deserve some more followers. That's for sure, because you guys do really clean work. And it looks like it's a team. Is Gina and Tamarin? Very cool. I'm not sure if I missed you guys here on the page together, but great work, both of you guys, and thank you for that. Okay, let's see. We had another one. Sneaker, let me see if I can find it here on the YouTube. I might have to look over at the computer. Yeah, okay, cool. So Snike, let's make sure we don't misspell this one. Snike Rana. I wonder how you say this. Okay. Because I see Nike. I sort of see a Nike there. You know what I mean? So I'm tempted to say that. Sneaker Rana. That's what I'm going to go with. So Beware Customs and Sneaker Rana. Sneaker and canvas, custom, design worldwide, made in Bosnia, worldwide shipping. DM for questions. Follow now. All right, let's take a look at some of the work. So a pair of Air Forces with the swoosh removed, and it looks like the I'm not sure which Air Force this was because the leather's different, but it looks like the holes were maybe even filled in to give that super clean look. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think this was a different Air Force, where maybe it was a different swoosh. Maybe it, the stitching, the way the stitching goes about is a little different to where maybe you don't have to fill in the holes or something like that. But these are cool. Let's see, some drip on some Jordan 1s with the Chicago black toe colorway. Clean and simple. Let's see what else. Some Goku action and a pair of Air Force 1s. That's cool. Yep, getting in there with the detail brush. Cool to see some video stuff. Space Jam pair, nice. Oh yeah, like this edit, that's cool. Dig that one, yep. Dig that. That's cool. And what I'm going to say I like about this, because it's become so known in our industry, it's cool to see a different take on the Space Jam theme, to not automatically see I have to do a Rainbow Galaxy. I've done Space Jam themes with the Rainbow Galaxy, but because it's become so popular in our industry, because of Serato, and others who do a great job at it, but Serato was certainly the first, in my opinion, it's cool to see a different take on it. So I dig that. Ooh, love this photo. Heck yeah. Oh yeah. That's sick. Really cool pair too, but love the photo. Yeah, look at that. These are cool. The laces are dope too. Nice. Really dig the photo set you did for that pair. Look, I really like these edits. Phone can oh, thanks, Costa. Wow. Whoops, we got unplugged. That's what I get for not looking. Sorry about that, guys. Instant is froze. Okay, we're good. Let me know how far back did you guys see? Did you guys see anything of me talking on this page? So far, the pairs that I've looked at were this pair of Air Forces. Sorry, I need to also look at that screen to make sure it's live. I didn't see. But I'm going to go ahead and watch vids, honestly. So, okay, we'll look at this pair again. So the Air Forces, where they remove the swoosh, that's cool. I talked about these, the drip on the Jordan 1s, and I like the Space Jam ones. No, nothing. Okay, so you guys didn't see any. We saw the first ones. Okay, cool. So this Space Jam pair, this is the one I was talking about for a while. So I like these edits. It was cool to see something that wasn't just the Rainbow Galaxy. So I like these a lot. And then I was looking at this lion pair and this photo set. This is really cool. These are some dope photos. And look at how much all of these colors pop. The colorful laces. Obviously the abstract sort of design within the lion. And it really pops up against having that strong orange base color. Oh look, there's a splatter on the sole too. That's pretty cool. Nice touch. Didn't catch that at first. So yeah, just a really loud, colorful pair. Then I was moving on to the South Park Air Forces, and that's when I caught you guys saying, and look at this. Is that sign there or is it Photoshop? That sign might be there. That might be a real sign. It doesn't look Photoshopped. I think you actually might have made that sign. Just looking at lighting and me trying to determine if something is Photoshopped, I think that sign is real. You know, maybe you just laid some black vinyl on top of a wooden sign, and that's a great idea. I love practicality. You know what I mean? It's very cool to do Photoshop stuff, but sometimes when you can be practical, at least to start, that's a great concept. It's cool. Kobe pair here, cool. The simple 24 in the background. Yeah, it looks like that 24 is there too. So it looks like you guys do some combination of practicality, and I don't know if this is maybe a mirror on the horizon, and then that's why I see the shoes mirror down, and then the 24 above it. So that's why I think you guys are combining some practical effects, which is I'm a huge fan of. Some Bape Jordan 4s. This is we're checking out some cool Instagrams today. Yeah, and I think that just a lot of the newer content has improved a lot. You know what I mean? As we go a little bit further back, I think there has been a real increase in production quality, big time. Absolutely. The skyline stuff is cool, but in a lot of these cases, I don't necessarily think that this adds to the photo. It of course makes for a cool backdrop, but I don't necessarily think being up, you know, maybe in your apartment unit or something like that is adding to the photo for any reason. But whereas some of the newer stuff, when you go and you have a sign for South Park, this is something that adds to the photo set. So very cool. Very cool. Yep, we had one or two more. Let me see here. So we're going to check out LR Custom. Let me check it out. LR Custom FW. All right. Sorry about that, guys, that we got, I didn't even notice we were unplugged there for a bit. Okay, LR underscore custom underscore again FW. Cool. All right, so we have a pair of Vans with the Lilo character. It's cool to do the, have the Lilo character, or is that Stitch? To be honest, Lilo and Stitch was just past me seeing it. I was already a teenager when this came out, so I don't think I've ever even seen this movie. So I'm not sure if this is Lilo or if this is Stitch. But the character from the movie, custom Stitch fans. Okay, that's Stitch. So Lilo must be the other character. So yeah, obviously since Stitch is blue, having them up against the blue checkerboard Vans, the character itself is very cleanly done. The line work looks good. I don't necessarily love. I see what you were going for with the purple in the background and the blue and the blue and the purple in the background to just create some depth between your character and the checker pattern. But how would I have maybe done this better? Maybe what I would have done is add in a little bit more white so it's even lighter, and that would bring your character forward even a little bit more. Yeah, I think I would have done that. Lighten those colors up a bit, and that'll make that character pop even more. But let me check out some of these other ones. So the cartoon Air Forces, and this is cool that we have one white and one black. That's clean. Clean and simple. We have some Rick and Morty Air Forces too. So let me check out some more photos of these. Clean. Homer Simpson. Yep, the Rick and Morty's again, and then the pair of drip Vans with the purple. Purple's not an easy color to paint. So yeah, July 23rd too. Wow, so Instagram just started. Let's see what we have here on the story. Just a little vote. Which one do I like more? I like the Stitch ones. I'm gonna vote for the Stitch ones. It won't let me vote. It wants me to go to this page. I wonder why. Oh, because you didn't post this. This is you reposting it. I gotcha. Okay, so yeah. So what would I do for these to make them pop a little bit more? I actually also want to say that I like this photo a little bit more up against the grass and the rock here, more so here than the. Oh, we're frozen. Costa told me. The shows were good on my end. Now, what I'm seeing. Oh, let's see. I don't know why the cable's given some trouble today. Just wait a sec. Froze. You guys couldn't see the Rick and Morty ones. Okay, cool. So yeah, here we have the cartoon colorway Air Forces with the inverted one. So we have one black, one white. Those are clean. Here we have the Rick and Morty Forces. Those are clean, very simple, keeping a lot of the shoe white. And then we also have a Homer Simpson pair with the rainbow drip on the swoosh. And then we have the Purple Drip Vans too. And all of this is from July 23rd, so the page is hardly a week old. And already having 1, 2, 3, 4 different customs. So cool stuff. Excited to see where you're able to go. I was saying that for the Stitch Vans, I actually like this photo more, where you have it up against the grass and the rock, rather than this one that's up against like the bedspread or something like that. But yeah, to make Stitch pop a little bit more, I don't know if you have an airbrush, but I would try to do somewhat of a haze or glow behind the character to just make Stitch pop a little bit more. But cool stuff, LR Custom. Cool stuff, and thank you for sending in the super chat. Okay, let's flip over here. Yeah, sorry guys. We haven't had too many issues in the past with the cord for the phone kicking us out, and today we've already frozen up twice. So we had another super chat come in from XX, God of War XX, just sends in a super chat, no message, so thank you for that. Really appreciate you sending in that to support the channel. Very cool. Sorry about that, guys. Yep, sorry about that freezing. But yeah, hey, that's live. Sometimes when you're live, you run the risk of that happening. So let's go ahead and answer some questions here in the chat. Yeah, so for the giveaway for the paint, go ahead and post what you're working on right now. And all you have to do is post it on your Instagram story, tag us at DeJesus Custom Footwear, and use the hashtag ToothpickGang. And then over the weekend, I will pick out a winner. LR Custom sends in another super chat and just says thanks. Thank you for sending that in, and for you to have a page that is not even a week old, and I already see 8 pieces of content. The page is 8 days old. That is what I'm talking about. Consistency and pumping out a ton of content. Great stuff. Continue to do that, guys. For sure. Warren Cox says, do you need too soft for Vans? If you're working with a pair of canvas Vans and you want to retain that factory softness, absolutely. Absolutely. Lee Bro says, question, can a toothbrush be a substitute for an airbrush in certain situations? The only time that I can see a toothbrush be a substitute for an airbrush is if you're trying to do a splatter effect. Because you can do a splatter effect with a popsicle and an airbrush, and you can obviously also do a splatter with a airbrush and a toothbrush. So, my man Rupsy says, I'm ready to come to Chicago for my birthday. Yes, so anybody in here, we are going to be, we finally have an announcement for the DCF Experience, our 2-day in-person custom sneaker course that unfortunately did have to be postponed because of everything going on in the world. It was supposed to take place April 18th and 19th. I was so excited about it. And of course, we had to postpone it with everything going on. And there's just been a lot of people who have reached out who are coming to the course. We had 20 people, and I've had at least half the course say, hey, you know, thankfully everybody has been totally understanding and patient, but I had a lot of people reach out and say, hey, do you think it's going to happen this year? Are we going to do it anytime soon? You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily look like, you know, too much is going to change in the next, who knows? Everything is unpredictable. But at this point, a lot of the people who are not good, there's just a lot of people who have made up their mind that they're not going to be traveling or gathering until there's some major turn, whether that be a vaccine or something like that, or to where people feel more safe in gatherings and things like that. And so what we are going to do is we are going to still have the in-person custom course for 2 days. And that is now taking place August 29th and 30th. I sent out an email, and we have a Facebook group for everybody who's coming to the event. I've updated it there. The venue is booked. August 29th and 30th, we're going to have the same thing. It's going to be 2 days long, same hours as before, same location. We have a nice big space. We're going to have less people because not all 20 people are going to be coming. So we're going to have no issue with space and being spread out if we need to be. Obviously, we're working with paints and chemicals, and a lot of us wear masks and things like that all the time anyway, so there shouldn't be any problems with that. Everybody who's reached out says, hey, you know, I'm willing to do whatever we need to do to make this happen. I'm just so excited to come and learn. So we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do for everybody else who can't make it is we're going to then maybe the week or a week or two later, we're going to have we're going to do it a virtual course. And so anybody who can't come to Chicago for that, we're in the suburbs of Chicago, so it doesn't have the same rules, protocol as Chicago if you were staying in Chicago in that manner. We're in the suburbs. So I've already looked into all of that. So it's different if you're in the suburbs or staying in Chicago as far as traveling, out of state, any of that type of stuff. And so we're going to have a virtual course for anybody who can attend. I'm going to send out all of the materials, all of the shoes, all of the supplies, the airbrushes, compressors, paints, everything, and then you'll be able to follow along from the comfort of your own home. And this way, everybody's been understanding. Unfortunately, I wanted to just hold off until all 20 people could gather together, but you know that doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. So I think this is the best solution for everybody. That you know we still get to. Everybody gets to move forward and progress because it's been such a standstill of, you know, everybody wants to learn and I want to teach, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yes. Let me see here. CW Custom says, how often do you replace your Badger? I probably think that I get at least a full year out of each one. And that is being used every single day for, you know, almost every single day for multiple hours. Because I airbrush almost every shoe, at least some portion of it. So the airbrush does get used almost every single day, if not 5 out of the 7 days of the week or something like that. Yeah, and then I would say, you know, I sort of replace the parts that I know are broken at any specific time, and I'll keep that going for a while. But sometimes you just hit a certain point where it's no longer working very good, so you just say, all right, time for a new one, and they're under $100 anyway, so that's all right. You did your thing, and now let's get a new one. So yes, Curtis Rempe says, where do you get your business cards? Like, they are so thick. So yeah, let me grab one of those. So these are cool, guys. I'm really proud of these. So this is just for a comparison, but here's just a little sticky note so you can sort of see the thickness. Obviously, everybody knows how thick a sticky note is, and that's how thin a lot of business cards are. And here we have it's not gonna show. Nope, that doesn't work as good as I hoped. I'm trying. Don't think it's gonna. Maybe we do the phone. Gotta get creative here. Yeah, you can see the thickness of the business card versus just the sticky note, but it's even thicker in person. And yeah, I'm a big fan of these. I can't think of business cards and papers. They have thicknesses based off a numerical value, like. So I can't think of the number this is, but if it's real thick, you know, this could be called like 36 point paper or something like that. But that's the thickness. So logo on the front, all of my info on the back. And yeah, these are really cool. What's really cool about these is a lot of people don't carry business cards anymore. I tried to always have a few on me, but the thing about business cards is for the most part, when you meet somebody, you hand them a business card, and they throw it away, or it goes in their pocket, and then as soon as they get home and they throw it away. But the thing is, when you hand somebody one of these business cards, their first reaction is just to say, wow, where did you get this business card? Or wow, I've never seen a business card like this. It's just something that stands out because it's so thick and it's really heavy. So you can't carry around, you know, a pack of 1,000 of these because they're so thick. You can only fit so many in your wallet or holder or whatever. So yeah, these are really cool. I use a site called gotprint.com for all of gotprint.com for all of my printing needs. Brandy W says, would you do like an hour-long video chat to walk through a project for a fee? Absolutely. We do a lot of consulting. I have done, certainly during quarantine, I'm doing that probably 3 to 4 times a week for different durations. Sometimes I'm meeting with people for an hour. Sometimes some people say, hey, I need 10 minutes of your time. So yeah, if you're ever interested in a consultation, you want to chat about a project you're working on, you have general questions, whatever the case may be, reach out to me and we can discuss a meeting time. We can do it over WhatsApp, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, and just talk about whatever you need to talk about, whatever you need to learn about. I just did one recently with a big time YouTuber. His name was Robin something, couple 100,000 subs, and he was painting a pair for Lonzo Ball. I wonder if he wore them last night. I chatted with him a couple weeks ago. He was doing a pair for Lonzo Ball, and it was supposed to be for the first game back, and it was supposed to be a Black Lives Matter pair. I wonder if Lonzo wore those. I'm going to have to look on the internet. And he was asking me some questions about painting some Kobe's. So, yeah. Uriel Contrast Valdez says, why that you make free videos instead of charge them? There is 175 videos that you can learn from here on our YouTube. There is, I don't know how many episodes of DCF Live are up, probably close to 10. Each one of them is almost an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's, you know, almost 20 hours of me answering questions. 175 videos. There's a 10-hour live stream video up, all free for you to check out. So there is, believe me, it is not about me. I put out a ton of free content. You know what I mean? Endless amounts of free content for people to learn from. So yeah, you can certainly search up almost anything you need to know on our YouTube page. But sometimes a lot of people just want to know a little bit more, or they want to know about a very specific topic, and I'm more than glad to do that with them. Rupsy says, I have a huge celebrity coming up. I am super nervous. Are you going to spill the beans on who it is or what the project is? Let us know. Also, if you guys haven't already, Rupsy finally decided to join the YouTube gang. He dropped a pair of Taco Tuesday Air Force Ones, and they're pretty dope. It was an awesome video. I checked it out, and make sure you guys go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. It was a cool video, and glad to see him joining the YouTube gang. For sure. For sure. Daniel says, Lonzo wore some dark blue Kobe's last night. Okay. I wonder if maybe they might have been a pregame thing that he was making them for. Maybe he's wearing them a different game or something. But I think he was saying that he wanted to wear them the first night. So, yeah. Yep. iOS Assault says, is there another product that's like duller? If you can get a really good matte finisher like Liquid Kicks, you could avoid that. So yeah, for sure. How long does it take for each custom? It certainly varies. It's kind of like how long does it take to do a tattoo. It depends how complex it is. But for the most part, I'd say on average, 8 to 15 hours. Yeah. Yep, and then another question here, similar to that, Kelspon95 says, what custom has taken you the longest to complete? That would be the Kobe portrait Jordan ones that I did probably now a month to 2 months ago. We have a video on that of me painting portraits, and it took me over 50 hours to do that pair, and that was the longest pair because I did a pretty darn detailed portrait. So yeah. Let's see. Partially Dot Amoa says, how do you paint characters on Air Force One? Single coat or more? You would want to do more than one coat, but it certainly depends on the color also. So yeah. Arfan Raza says, how do you get the brush stroke custom? There are no YouTube videos about how to do it. Yes, so if are you talking about these? Are you talking about, let me know if you're talking about these, Arfan. We ultimately decided not necessarily to make a YouTube tutorial on just the brushstroke concept, but more a video based around these and doing the photo that we did. I thought about releasing these as a stencil pack, having the 3 swoosh brushstroke stencil pack available to you guys. So it would come with 12, so you could do 3 on every side on a pair of shoes. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, and that could be something that we create. Maybe we make it a Discord exclusive or a newsletter exclusive or something like that. We don't even fully release it to the public. But yeah, if there's enough interest on that, maybe we could do that. This is, I loved when I first saw them, the brushstroke pack that Nike's released, and they're doing Air Force One, a Jordan 1, 2 pairs of Air Force Ones, a Jordan 1, and I think they might even be doing a Blazer. And when I saw them, I was like, man, I really like those, but there's just something missing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if just me being somebody who paints shoes, I want to see a little bit more color or a little something else, but I said, you know what, let me try to add some color, try to switch up the theme a little bit, not just add a color to the swoosh. So this is what I came up with. And a lot of times people ask, how do you get inspiration for designs, or how do you come up with colors, whatnot? So I had the idea of doing the 3 different brushstrokes, but then I didn't know what colors I was going to do. So literally what I did was just search up color palettes on Google and just spent 10 to 20 minutes looking through color palettes and trying to find 3 colors that I thought would work really well together. And as soon as I saw these 3 colors next to each other in a color palette, I knew that that was winner, winner, chicken dinner for sure. So we have a super chat here from Nikki Proctor Walden. Says, thanks for sharing your talent. I have used a few of your tutorials to experiment with this art form. Do you use or suggest a top coat or finish to protect the sneaker? Yes, the one that I use, Nikki, is the Liquid Kicks leather top coat. I use the matte finish. Let me get out of the frame. Yep, come on. It's still trying to focus on my face. There we go. Yep, the Liquid Kicks up. What do I gotta do? I gotta cover my face. Let's try that again. Cover my face. Nope, let me put my hand. There we go. Okay. Nope. One day I'll have this autofocus thing figured out. Oh, okay. So yeah, the Liquid Kicks matte finish. Really big fan of this stuff. Really, really, really big fan. It's really good stuff. It is, it's super matte. It's super matte, and I love that. Kelspon95 says, how many layers of finisher do you apply and how long in between each layer? So I do 2 layers of finisher and I wait at least about 15 minutes. XO_Ange_ says, when you first started out doing your customs, did you have issues with customers flaking out on you once they ask how much you charge? I really, so the way that I would look at that is that I don't necessarily think they're flaking out at that point if they're just gauging the price, because it's a luxury item. It's not going to be for everybody. So if they're just reaching out to inquire about pricing, I don't think it's really flaking out if they decide that they can't necessarily afford it. Because if you think they're flaking out when you are starting out and have low price points, imagine how many people aren't able to do it as you raise prices and get better. So, I mean, yeah, when I started out and was charging way, way less, there was certainly a lot of people that said, okay, never mind. But now imagine as I charge way infinitely times more than I used to, how many people just, it's not in their budget. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't necessarily say that's flaking out. That's just, you know, first gauging pricing and saying that, okay, yeah, that's not necessarily in my budget, but thank you. But yeah, you need to remember that custom sneakers are a luxury item, and it's not going to be for everybody once they find the pricing. And don't take it personal. Don't take it to heart. That is what I would say. Because if it's just not in their budget, there's nothing more you could do to convince them if they just don't have the money for a luxury item. You know what I mean? So yes. Repsy says, is it hot in Chicago right now? Today, not too bad. It is today. This week was not bad. I see in Arizona, it was like 115 degrees or something silly. Today, we are at 79 degrees. So 35 degrees less than over in Phoenix, which is just absolutely insane, man. That is some crazy weather over there. Let's see. Partially Dynamo says, do you use Angelus Matte Finisher and Liquid Kicks Matte Finisher on the same shoe? You could. You don't necessarily need to. I would just, what's it called? I would just use one. And I use the Liquid Kicks. Yep, I do 2 coats of that. John Kelly says, do you know what paint people use for the slime custom shoes where it drips up the shoes? I think Sophie Sophs might have done a video on that. And it might be some type of liquid rubber stuff, if you want to check out her video. iOS Assault says, do you think it's possible to do customs just in black and white? There's no limit to art and what you could come up with. If you can come up with creative enough concepts, absolutely. I mean, look at Joshua, I believe how you say it is Vides. You know, what is that, maybe 3 years ago now, where he first just had an entire art installation of doing everything in that sketch theme and starting to do it on a lot of shoes, and that's all just in black and white. So absolutely. Magmatic Puffin says, how would you compare Liquid Kicks with Angelus Matte? So Liquid Kicks actually even has a finisher that's more matte than this one called Flat. But if I just compared this one, since it's called Matte Finish versus Angelus's Matte Finish, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most matte, 1 being near glossy, for peeps' sake. This one is like an 8 or 9, assuming that the Flat is a full 10, and the Angelus is way more glossy. I'm talking like a 2 or 3 versus this one being a 8 or 9 on the matte scale. So this is really good stuff. I highly recommend this. You definitely, you'll always hear me say this is the finisher to go with. Really good stuff. $116 in Phoenix today. That is absolutely insane. Wow, that is hot. Let's see how we doing on time here. Man, these things fly by, guys. They fly by. Almost 5:51 now. Okay. All right, we'll go a little bit longer. What else? I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I certainly wanted to cover. Yeah, all submissions for the floral contest are due tonight, 6 hours away. I'm just mind blown seeing some of the submissions, how cool some of them are. That's gonna be a really tough pick. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Just in case anybody wasn't here at the beginning, I just want to let everybody know that we started a Discord. I have that linked in the description. Come and chat over there. That's with a community very similar to this of like-minded people wanting to do custom shoes, and we chat sort of all things custom shoes. We have it split up into different categories, so you can talk about your mistakes, your first-time pair, rating your photos, rating your customs, a lot of different stuff. So that's a great place just to chat and learn from like-minded people. And then we also have a newsletter, and the first one is going to be coming out next week. We have that linked in the description also. That's just going to lead you right to our site. All you need to do is enter your email, and then we're going to sort of just send out a weekly email and talk about a lot of cool stuff. So I already had a ton of people sign up for that. There's probably over 300 people now in the Discord. So it has been super cool to see that quickly blossom. For sure. Sophia Hake says, do you use the airbrush to spray on the sealer? I do. Yep. Let's see. Anthony Bagley Art says, "Hey Dylan, what's a good base coat for making the 18 karat gold pop?" I use beige, actually. Some people get as crazy as saying that you can do it up against a color like red as a base coat, but you know, just for silver, I'll use light gray. For gold, I'll use beige or Play in the Sand, one of those. And once you have Play in the Sand and beige, typically paint really easily on a lot of different surfaces. So once you have those couple coats of that laid down, the 18 karat gold is going to sit on top really, really smooth. You could also add in a little bit of yellow into either of those colors, the beige or the Play in the Sand, and you can achieve some cool effects with that type of stuff. So yeah. Vic De Luna says, "When doing portraits, what do you add to the paint to keep it from drying fast? You said it in a previous live, but I forgot. You would want a retarder." So that is the one that I use. Is from Liquitex. This is a slow dry. I don't know if I should even bother. I need to figure the best way out to do this. Always get it in focus. A slow dry fluid retarder. That's the one that I used. So yes. Johnny Human says, "What's the best way to dye icy soles?" We have a video on that, Johnny. If you go ahead, just sort of check out our catalog, you'll see a video. It's pretty old now, probably a year and a half, 2 years, just called "How to Dye Icy Soles." Dye icy translucent soles, I believe. And we do it on a Jordan 11, is the shoe we are working on in that video. Full of Gunk says, "How would you do a splatter effect with a toothbrush?" So all you need to do is take an old toothbrush, and then I'll sort of show them. We have 2 videos on splatter. Let me dry it off. But here's all you need to do. You can have a very small amount of paint on here. This is the splatter toothbrush that I use. And then you're just going to sort of do a little something like this. Point it at what you're working at. You know, obviously dip your paint real quick, and then just right at the surface you're working on, just flick the tips. Very simple, very lightly. And yeah, a toothbrush is my favorite for doing splatter. And then if you want some larger spurts of splatter, or if you want tinier, that super tiny splatter, maybe for like a galaxy or something like that, you could play with how thin your paint is. And if you want that super tiny, those super tiny little dots, that's when you could add a bunch of tooth into your paint and have it super thinned out, and that's when you're going to achieve a lot of those tiny little dots. Happy Brick says, "Can you make a stencil out of paper tape?" You can, yeah. Just draw it out and then X-Acto it out. Once you have it drawn out in pen or pencil, whatever, you can use an X-Acto to do it from there. Yep. Can you paint Yeezys with Too Soft? You sure can. Sam Basler says, "Will there be a DCF horror contest this year?" I got some ideas in mind. If it's, I don't know, I'm 50-50 on it, because we would already need to announce the horror contest almost shortly after we have sort of all the videos out for the final 4 of the floral contest. It would almost be, you know, 2 months out from Halloween, so we would sort of need to announce that one. But I sort of am tempted to say that, you know, I'd rather do one of our other themes first, whether it be video games, Disney, anime, something like that. But maybe, because I love horror themes so much, I might just say, "Hey man, I want to do the horror contest again, because I want to paint some horror stuff too." So there's a chance that there will be another horror contest. But yeah, I want to do some of those other ones too. You know what I mean? And unless we start pumping out these contests every month, there's a new one, it would be hard to do that. So Destin Grant says, "What material should I use when first starting out for shoe customizing?" Destin, check out a video that we have linked in the description, and it says We have a recommended video section. It says advice to begin your customizing journey, and then there's a link to the video. It is last week's video. I think it has a title of like 4 easy steps to begin your customizing journey, and it's just a video that lays out what I think you need with a $100 budget to begin, and sort of answers the question that, hey, if I were starting over, what would I do? What would be my game plan if I was just starting out sneaker customizing? And I sort of lay out some of those steps. So yeah. Evan the artist joined. Hey bro, just joined. What's new? How you doing, Evan? Evan, if you guys haven't seen, Evan is an incredibly talented 10-year-old artist doing some really cool things on Instagram. I saw he made a pair for Marco, which is super cool. I know Marco's somebody that he definitely looks up to, so I know hearing from him, I know he was hyped to do that pair. So great stuff, Evan. And to hear your guys' age constantly and see somebody as young as 10, and I see a lot of you guys are along those lines, it is just absolutely incredible. And the future is bright for the sneaker customizing community, thanks to you guys. Yeah, so Daniel has a great point here. One of our mods says, he's answering somebody, he says, there's only one Dylan here and some others try to help you with your question, but if you don't read the replies and keep asking, you will be timed out. Hashtag no spam game. Yeah, so we're incredibly thankful that constantly we have new people joining here in the chat. It's super cool. If you guys hang out in the chat a lot, you'll see that very typically it's a lot of the same questions, and we've made videos on a lot of these questions. So I try to keep the I try to have a nice balance of. We also have a lot of people who tune in every single week. So for those people, I don't necessarily want to force them to have to listen to me say, you don't need too thin in your paint if you're mixing too soft to airbrush mesh material. I don't want to have to make them listen to me say that every single time, every single week and explain that. But I also want to take the time to acknowledge new people who might be joining us for the first time, answer your questions, because I want, let's say you're just checking out our page for the first time. I want you to have a good impression. I don't want you to think that I think I'm too good to answer questions or anything like that. But with all the people in here, the chat flies. I try to get to as many questions as possible. I'm scrolling quickly to try to somewhat keep up with the chat, see what you guys are talking about. One thing that we talked about last week that I think would be super cool is getting like a call-in option, doing some type of FaceTime of allowing you guys to call in and ask your question or something like that, and have you on the screen also with like a FaceTime. That would be super cool. I know some of you guys said Gary V does that in some of his videos. I haven't checked that out yet. I want to see how Gary V does it, and then I might implement some of that, find out how to do some of that, and I think it'd be really cool. So let's see here though. Chris Cornett, hopefully I said your last name right, buddy, says, what would you recommend to keep the paints from chipping when it's in the crease area? So if you really prep correctly, it is okay to paint the toe area. There is also absolutely unquestionably, without a doubt, a crease area on a Jordan 1 or Air Force 1. That is where paint is most likely to crack over time, over a long period of time. That is the first area where paint will fail. It's sort of like if we talked about, just in terms of structures. This is the weak point of a structure or something like that, of the foundation. This is the weak point. If it's ever going to fail, it's going to fail here. So sometimes it could be a good idea to have that in mind just when designing. So one thing that I sort of like to do sometimes, I'm not afraid to paint a toe, but you guys will pretty regularly see me do designs where I have potentially the whole toe box completely whited out. So let me just show you guys a couple examples real quick, because there were a couple recent recent pairs, if you take a look at these Detroit Pistons Jordan 1s, the entire toe box is, I keep it factory white because that's where paint's most likely to fail. Same with this Kobe pair, okay? I keep it, the actual toe box itself is white. Now there's a little bit of yellow on the toe wrap panel, but that is something that you can absolutely keep in mind when you're designing, that, hey, this is where paint's most likely to fail. I'm going to try to avoid that, but at the same time, I have these, which you guys saw me paint on a live stream. These have a painted toe box. These have been worn many a times, and you guys see me. I do it every time I show you guys on the stream that even if you do this and you paint correctly, you know what I mean? There's not going to be. I'm better off showing this stuff on the phone than I am on the stream for proof. So let's flip. There's no cracking, okay? That's just creasing. It's creased. Very bad because I intentionally creased them very bad for a test. But there's not cracking, okay? Now remember, folks, a wise man once said, say your prayers, eat your veggies, and paint your edges, okay? All edges are painted. Say your prayers, eat your veggies, and paint your edges, folks, all right? But yeah, back to the creasing. You can see it's creased very badly, but there's still no paint cracking. And even even that right there, you can see that's not even a crack or anything like that. Heavily creased. You don't even see any of the white underneath. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. We have to do a video on those shoes and the wear test and whatnot. But you can paint a toe box. It's not that you can't. It's just the most important step is going to be to prep them correctly. And if you're interested in watching and learning about that, we have a full 10-hour stream where I got through certainly all of the prep on that pair of shoes. And the thing that I do that I think is the single most important thing that people do not want to do, people want to avoid it, people think it's silly to do it, is I sand almost every pair of shoes that I work on. Certainly all leather. People think, yeah, people don't want to do it, but I sand everything, and to me, that's what makes it the most durable. So yeah, we got a super chat here from Dizzy. Says, Thailand Custom Kicks. Hello, Dylan. I love your work. Could you check my Instagram and give me an opinion on my work so far? Absolutely. Absolutely. I will check that out. Chris says, Streamlabs, I believe, is how Gary Vee does it. Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. We need to try Zoom call. Yep. Brown mold. Oh, man. Ripsy says, I'm old school. Hit my line. Leave me a voicemail, right? Let's see here. Mike's Custom Shoes says, oh, Dylan, stop it. Stop it. I'm crying. It hurts watching you do that to a shoe. Yeah, that's always, it's always funny when I do the crease that it hurts. Yep. Daniel says, my first ever custom crack, none since. A wise man also said, do your prep, eat your veggies, and paint your edges. Exactly. Let's see. New Mood says, when painting cleats, do you use the same method of prepping you use on, let's say, Air Force One and other leather shoes? I do, yes. It would be the same prep protocol of the 3 different sandpaper grits, 400, 800, and 1500. Yep. Savage Saletian, maybe Salation says, hey, what other compressor could I use that's oil-free for the Badger? The one that you use doesn't ship to my country. Shoot me a DM and I'll send you a couple recommendations, and hopefully you'll be able to find one of those that are available in your country. Yeah. Demir Smajic says, I sanded and prepped the leather with acetone and painted over 10 layers, and they still cracked on creases. So the issue that I see there is 10 layers is way too many. At the absolute maximum, and I'm talking thin layers, I'm talking airbrushing, absolutely not hand painting. The absolute maximum, and this is like if I was going from painting black to neon yellow, the maximum amount of layers that I think you could do is 8. And that is 8 is rough, but it would probably take damn near 8 layers if I was trying to turn an all black Air Force One to like a neon yellow. Probably 2 coats of mist, yeah. 1 coat of light gray, a coat of mist, yeah. Maybe I could get there in 6 or 7 if I got lucky, but that sort of depends how vibrant I wanted the neon. But yeah, 10, that's too many layers. Because then the paint just can no longer flex with all of those layers. So it's not necessarily like, hey, if I add more layers, then there's more layers of clothing, so you'll never get to the skin layer. You know what I mean? It's not like that. You need the paint to be able to flex. Yeah. Look at this. Everybody in the chat hopping in and saying the 10 is too much. So yes, very good, very good. Daniel says, can we ban the word postcard? Daniel, I have to do the video just so I can't wait for when I finally have the video, and then you could just have it copied and pasted at all time and just reply to it with like 20 times throughout any episode of DCF Live and just say, watch this, watch this, watch this. And I'm gonna have to do like the most basic title ever, like you guys help me come up with the title for that video where I'm painting a pair of Air Forces with Posca pens. Should I just name it, Can You Paint Air Forces with Posca Pens, or Are Posca Pens Durable? What's going to be the most clickbaity? Help me come up with the title for that video. Let's think about that now as a community here. What's going to be the most clickbaity title for the Posca Pen durability test video? That would that's going to be funny. And the thing is Posca pens are in acrylic markers and things like that. They're cool. They're just not going to bend and wear with the leather. They are okay for different materials, you know what I mean? But when we need paint to flex and whatnot, which it needs to in a lot of areas, specifically near your toes where shoes crease, that's where it wouldn't hold up as much. So every live chat, yeah. Oh man, why you shouldn't? Sam Beasler says why you shouldn't use Posca pens. Right, Posca pen stress test. How durable are Posca pens? Yeah, Posca pens Marco durability test. There you go. Now you're talking clickbaity. Now you're talking it. You got to throw his do it in a Marco style. Oh yeah. There's gonna be some dancey music edit in that video. Shout out to Jason on having to make that one. What's really cool about it though is this truly I mean this is how many people Marco has brought to the world of customizing and literally inspired thousands of people to want to play with this medium of painting on shoes. So it is super cool that he did that. So yeah, I forgot I have an Instagram to look at. Somebody's got to yell at me because my mods, you guys got to yell at me to be on the ball. I forgot about this one. So let's see. Thailand custom kicks. Let's see. Now I hope I'm not wrong, but when I look at the super chat there, it says Thailand custom, and then there's a space kicks. So I'm not sure if it's all one word or not, but let's see as I start typing this in. And look at that. It ain't even showing right away. Okay, I'm going to unplug it. We'll plug it back in. Okay, I found the Instagram. But we're not showing. Okay, so I don't think it's this end of the cable, seemingly. So let me check the other end of the cable. So the issue is I have one of those, I have one of these long, these 10-foot long cables, and they're pretty cheap. You know what I mean? It's a 3-pack on Amazon for, who knows, $12 or something. So they're not the best cable. So that's most likely what the issue is. So here we are, Thailand Custom Kicks, Slovenia. DM for customs, TikTok, Thailand Custom Kicks, PaintAngelsDirect.com, Finisher, Liquid Kicks, top coats. All right, let's take a look at some of these. So we have a pair of Yu-Gi-Oh! Air Force Ones. My brother Daniel, who's probably not watching, but big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I wish I could remember the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! So obviously you have Yugi, and I think, I know I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! This is probably 2002. I think I'm in 5th grade when Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out. He has a guy that he goes against, and what is his name? What is the guy that Yugi battles in the first season? Is it I almost want to say he has a normal name, like, no. What is the guy Yugi goes against in the first season? You guys, the chat will let me know. But I'm guessing maybe that's him on the other. We have Yugi on one swoosh, and then we have the other character on the other. But yeah, I mean, look at the line work. Line work looks good. Kai, that's his name, right? Kaiba, there it is. Kaiba, yep, Kaiba, there you go, guys. Yep. Cool. Yeah, so I think I watched like the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! I had some of the cards too when it first came out. Yep. So that's cool. I haven't. You don't see too many Yu-Gi-Oh! Pairs, so that's cool. I would have to show my brother Daniel these. He'd get a kick out of these. Here's them again. Shout out to Cam Creates for the inspiration. Oh, did maybe Cam Creates do something similar? I didn't see those, but these are clean. I mean, like, even for a beginner, like, if we're just talking fundamentals, just look at the line work. Look at the saturation of the colors. Yellow's not an easy color to paint, and you're not going for a solid yellow. You're painting some little bit of texture in the hair, but good job. Fundamentals, solid. Another Yu-Gi-Oh! Pair. This is clean and simple. I'm a fan of the design, the simplicity, for sure. Dizzy says the other guy is Jaden from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series. Gotcha, cool. And then here we have Chicago sort of colorway with the cartoon theme. Those are clean. Yep. And we got a pair of cleats, first pair. Oh, look at this. The splatter with the swoosh with a little bit of a drop shadow around it. That's clean and simple. The splatter looks good. And then, yeah, I see some improvement because look at the first pair here where we have, looks like maybe you airbrushed the swoosh and some of it got out past the tape job. And so, yeah, I just see some improvement already. And then I think just as you continue to do more, just continue to improve that photography. You know what I mean? You wanna have a premium product. You want to take a premium photo rather than just being up against a cardboard box that you see here. Or here in this photo where you see it sort of just up against a window or door, sliding door near your house, and then you just sort of see this basket unnecessarily in the background. I mean, just little things like that are going to make it's just going to make for a cleaner photo. But cool stuff down in Custom Kicks, and I truly appreciate you sending in the super chat. Clean, simple bio, nice logo, nice and eye-catching colors. Cool stuff. Keep it up, Tylen. Excited to see more from you. Okay, let's see here. Where should I get stickers made? John Kelly. Use the site gotprint.com. That's where I do all of my printing because quality, the quality is high, the pricing is very fair, and the turnaround times are great. I've used a lot of printing sites over the years, but I'm a big fan of Gotprint for the totality of, like I said, quality, pricing, and timeline. They're good for all three of those. Partially Dynamo says, am I the only one who had Pokemon cards? Nope, I still have a full binder with a bunch of first editions and stuff. I have a I have a cool binder of a ton of Pokemon cards. Yeah. Let's see here. Sneaker Soul 23 says, quick question. I always see Serato using a pen to draw the lines on a lot of his characters he hand draws. Any idea what pen that is and how that will hold up as opposed to paint? I don't think it's necessarily with him, but a lot of pens, you would run into the issue if they ever got wet, it would run. So you would just need to find the right pen, of course, that wouldn't run. So that's why, at least with paint, it's not going to run. I certainly understand we've used pens all of our life, so it seems a whole lot easier. But yeah, I'm not sure which one specifically, unfortunately. Anaya Gaylot says, do you recommend practicing on leather square sheets? That can definitely be a great idea, just getting a feel for painting on leather, testing out different colors, and things like that. Warren Cox says, what custom do you do the most? I try to keep all of my work as one of one, and that's certainly what I do nowadays. So I don't really recreate any of my work, so I don't do... I don't have a website where you could check out and just buy any of my 10 designs or anything like that. So everything I do is really one of one. So, yep. Let's see here. Dryer is saying, I think you're thinking of the blonde guy, Joey. See, there was a guy in Yu-Gi-Oh! Who did have a normal name, Joey. And I think that's like Yugi's friend or something like that, if I remember correctly. I was like, I think there's a character that has a very normal American name, and it's Joey. So yeah. Yeah, but that's the different blonde guy. I think he's tall. Yeah, and maybe he wears a green jacket or something like that, if memory serves. But we're going way back now. Definitely. Fernando Fuentes with a good question says, what should I do if my paint peels off after wearing it once? So the issue with this is with stuff like this, being a dad, sometimes I like to make dad jokes or have good references to other things in life. And I haven't found the perfect dad joke for it yet. But the best way to think about this, that I think some people may think you should do, is let's say your paint cracked on the toe of your Air Force Ones. A lot of people say, well, I'm just going to paint right over it. All you're doing basically is applying a Band-Aid, because it's just going to crack again unless you solve the solution. It's sort of like if you have, even this isn't the best solution, but you know how at some point you need to repair your roof and get new roofing every 15 years or so, depending on the material of the roof, of course. But sometimes you patch it up over time or things like that. But unless you potentially really solve the problem, which would be to potentially not enough prep work, you're just going to run into the same issue over and over. So if you just prep over an area that already cracked, it's just going to crack again until you really solve the issue of more prep work, most likely. It could be that maybe you applied too much paint. So if you just remove the paint and repaint it again, maybe you did enough prep but applied too much paint. That could happen, but it's a little bit more likely that you didn't prep enough. So you need to really remove everything and really remove everything and very thoroughly prep it, and then you would avoid that cracking again. So yeah. Let's see. DeJesus, the dad joke king. Yeah, that's my goal. If I can be known for, if I could start adding some really bad dad jokes into the YouTube videos, I would be happy with that. Big Boy Custom says, how can I enter into the reviewing your customs? Yeah, so if you're ever interested in that, shoot your submissions to jason@DeJesusInc.com, and that's sort of where we pick from. So yeah. Patrick Willis says, is there such a thing as too much prep? I would say there is, but I would say it's extremely unlikely. Like I think one of the main reasons people are so afraid of applying sandpaper onto their shoes is because they assume they're working with the same sandpaper that like your dad might have lying around in the garage, which is probably like 100 grit sandpaper, which is for like woodworking or something like that, which you wouldn't want to apply to leather because it's so coarse. When we were talking about 400 grit sandpaper, 800 grit, 1500 grit sandpaper, we're talking about really fine sandpapers. These are not going to, these aren't what you would use for woodworking. They're not going to damage the leather. So it's really unlikely that you would prep too much and like ruin the leather per se. So yeah, you're very, very unlikely to run into that. As far as over prepping. Jacob Cuevas says, do you think the Burberry custom is hard? I do, because I think the Burberry custom is hard because it to do the line work. So let me pull up the pair I did. This is like 3 years ago. Let me pull these up real quick and sort of show you guys. So I actually have a Dropbox with a folder of every pair of shoes I've ever done, which is pretty crazy. So if you look, I have a folder, and there's plenty of pairs that I just didn't photograph, but then I have, for like a lot of football players, they'll have their own folder, and I'll separate it by year, how many years I've been working with them. And so, okay, like obviously Eric Ebron, he has a lot of years. I've been working with them for a lot of years. We clicked 2017, all the pairs we did in 2017. A lot of, so the CR2s, that's just the raw camera file. The JPEGs are the edited ones. So just ton of cleats over the years. So let me find the Burberry pair I did. Burberry. These were for Kenny Galladay on the Lions. I have a shot of him wearing them. That's always cool. Is it showing? Yeah, it looks like it's showing. Here, yep. So here's how the Burberry print actually is. I never really realized until I looked at it, because I was going to do a custom with it. I always thought it was solid lines, but it's all of these diagonal lines that just from afar sort of look like solid lines. And just the way that my brain is wired, something like this, I want it to be so incredibly precise and machine looking that something like this takes me a very, very, very long time to do. So yeah, these took quite a while. But what I did, memory serves correctly, was I did this cleat was this cleat all white? I think this was an all white cleat. But what I did, because I assumed I would have to do touch-ups, is I painted it a shade above white. So I mixed just a tad of light gray into my white, painted it all that solid color, and then I did the blue stencils first. I laid down some stencils, did the blue dash lines, went in, did any touch-ups, and then the reason I painted the white, because if I had to go in there in any areas, for example, and touch up any white, I want it to be the same color paint, rather than if I left it the factory white, when I go in and do touch-ups with the white, it wouldn't look the same. And then I did the stencils for the silver after that. These took a long time, but these are really cool. Look at these. Look at that line work. Zoom all the way in. It's all about the details, guys. It's all about the details. This was a cool pair, man. I haven't looked at these in a long time. These were dope. This was, yeah, this is already coming probably up on, does it say the date anywhere here? Somewhere probably does. Is there an info button? Just says 2 years ago. So yeah, but it's probably 3 years this season. So yeah, let's see. But you were saying if Burberry would be a hard one. It is. It takes a long time. Let me see. Big Boy Custom says, how do I get the free paint? Yeah, so all you need to do for that, because we're going to call it a day here shortly, guys. If you want that, go ahead and just post a picture to your Instagram story what you're working on. Tag me at DeJesus Custom Footwear and use the hashtag Toothpick Gang. Guys, if you haven't already, click the link in the description. Go ahead and join our Discord, the Toothpick Gang Discord. Chat about all things custom sneakers. A lot of like-minded people. I think we already have 300 people in there. Super cool. Go ahead and while you're in that description, click the link to sign up for the newsletter. Also, we'll be sending out one of those for a week. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. That is going to be the end of this episode of DCF Live. Tonight, we are 5.5 hours away from the ending of the DCF Floral Contest. It looks like it's a race to the finish line. It's not going to be easy picking the final four for that, but really excited about that. I got a good video coming at you guys next week that you guys are going to like about common mistakes that beginners make when customizing shoes. So really excited about that. Thank you guys for your continued support. I'll be picking the winner for the 12 color assortment little starter kit sometime tonight or over the weekend. I'll post about that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of DCF Live. Truly appreciate your guys' continued support. Everybody have a great, safe weekend. I can't say thank you guys enough for constantly tuning in, supporting us, and just being a member of this community. You guys truly make this, you make my job a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks again, and we will see you guys next week. Peace!